Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do part 3. Last week we did parts 1 and 2 in one class of using the elimination method. I'm just gonna review what we did with that, okay? Real quickly, if I had given you a problem like this, 2x plus 3y equals 12 and negative 2x minus 4y equals 16, right? What would I do to solve using the elimination method? Could I eliminate either the x's or the y's by just adding them together, the two equations? Yes? What?
2x and negative.
All right, so look, the x, I'm looking for the number in front of the variables, right? In front of the y's, I got a 3 and a 4, okay, a 3 and a negative 4, so that's not going to work. But I got 2 and I got a negative 2, so 2x and negative 2x, if I add those together, it comes out to 0, right? So this one is all set up. I can just immediately add these two equations together. The x's cross out, so I don't have anything for the x's. All I have is negative y is equal to, did I do that right? Negative y is equal to 28, right? So now I know what negative y is. I need to know what positive y is.
Y equals negative 28.
Because 3y minus 4y is negative y, negative 1y. And I need to
Add y on both sides.
I could do that, or I could just divide the top and both sides by negative 1. Then I get y, positive y is equal to negative 28.
Ooh.
Or,
That's what I did.
Right?
Gary,
Makes sense? Yeah?
wouldn't it be, if it was a different problem, it would be the same, so you would just like
Jerry, you're not done.
say it differently instead of dividing it. And just put, I don't know.
I don't know what you just asked, but do you know what you just asked?
With a negative 1 thing, couldn't you just like avoid that and just say y equals negative?
Yes, if I'm just explaining
switch it?
why. Yes, if we know that negative y is positive 28, we know that positive y is negative 28. You know what I mean? If you're going to change the sign of this one, you got to change the sign of the other one. It's as simple as that, right? Yeah, got it. All right, and then I would plug that back in, right? But I'm not going to focus on that right now. I just want to get used to knowing how to set up these problems, okay? All right, so that was one. Can I erase? All right.
Well, did you want us to write that down?
Well,
You
well.
said that this was
Okay, yeah, you don't have to write them down yet. So, what if I gave you this? 4x minus 5y is equal to 2, and 3x minus 5y is equal to 3.
Take the 5.
Could I add them both together right away?
Yes.
Yeah.
And would that get rid of anything?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
All right, let's try it.
No way.
So we
because
got
they're both
7x minus 10y is equal to 5. I just added them together.
It's gotta be
Shoot!
plus.
I did not eliminate something. So I've got to do something, Sarah. Yes! Yes. Notice they're so close, right?
Times it by negative 1.
Yeah, one of them we'll do by negative 1. It doesn't matter which one. Let's just do the bottom one by negative 1. By negative 1. So I'm just going to do it over here. So, well, actually, let me show you a trick. When you multiply an equation by negative 1, everything in that equation by negative 1, all you're really doing is changing the sign of every term in that equation. This is a positive 3x, right? Yes? So if I multiplied this equation by negative 1, it would immediately become a negative 3x. Negative 5y times negative 1 becomes a plus 5y. You with me?
Yeah.
Positive 3 becomes a negative 3. So now, when I add these together, I have 4x minus 3x is 1x.
Oh, you can do that.
And then these cross out, right? And it says equals negative 1. We're done. Or at least we found our x in two quick moves, right? We first changed all the signs in this, turning it all into the opposite kind of equation. And does that make sense to you guys? Does it make sense? Let's do another one like that. So 2x minus 9y is equal to 4, and What would I do? Max.
Negative 2x minus 6y.
Okay, so he's multiplying this one by negative 1, right? So he's going to change that to a negative, change this to a negative, change this to a negative. Is that what you did?
I thought 6 is already negative. Okay.
No, it was positive. I thought.
And then so it'd be negative.
So now these cross out, right? You can see that. 2x minus 2x, now they cross out. So then that gives me minus 15y is equal to negative 1, right? And then that means y is equal to, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 15, right? Y is equal to the negatives cross out, y is 1/15. Great. I'm glad I don't have to go plug that in and find my x, because I'm not going that far right now. I'm just focusing on how do we eliminate, right? You get that?
Done this last
Right?
year.
Yes, we did this last year. Now, but every fist of five, you guys understand that so far? Okay.
More or less.
All right, I'm going to test you really fast. Okay. What would you do, Naima?
Well, it's already negative. It's already like.
So make it a positive.
So, meaning these two would cancel out if you added them together. So it's just ready, it's ready to add, right? Totally ready to add. What about this one? Okay, Cassius, what would you do there?
And I'd add them and then cross out, or wait, I have to do the negative 1 parentheses, so that'd be negative 2x and it'd be
Negative,
5y.
negative, negative, right?
Yes.
So then these cross out, right? Good, awesome. Okay, so now that you guys have that in mind, now we're gonna do. Sorry, I'm racing because I have 30 seconds.
Max,
Okay.
What?
I really need. Can you go ask them if I could have like 4 more minutes? Both classes really fast before they ring the bell.
I'll ask
'Cause they're
one,
about to
what's
ring
the
the
other?
bell.
Gary, should I ask one?
No. Max, do it fast, buddy.
You are left out.
Okay.
You are
So,
not important.
so now, let's do this. What if I gave you, okay, what if I gave you something like this? 2x, this is what you need to write down in your notes. 2x plus y is equal to 3, and negative x plus 3y is equal to negative 12.
Oh, that's tricky.
Oh,
Wait.
This
I
isn't
know what
in our
to do.
homework, right?
Did Max not reach you guys? I asked for 4 more minutes. Max! We're supposed to ask all the classes. Tell them really quickly. Well, they don't know about it in there. They just walked in. Can you?
Ow.
Okay. Did they say yes? Okay, great.
Have you?
Okay. Can you close that door, please?
You guys know if Dina's
Oh,
here?
I know what to do.
Yeah, I know what to do.
Okay.
I don't remember if she's gone.
All right, so Max.
Oh yeah, she left.
Now this you have to write in your notes. This is the kind that we have to be sure we understand. So, Shelby, what would you do?
You distribute both of them.
Do what?
Multiply both of them.
You, yeah, exactly.
No,
by
you
negative
multiply
1.
both of them by negative 1.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but none of them are the same, so you have to distribute both of them into something.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
not necessarily both of the equations. The point is to try to do the simplest thing, right? Now, I'm going to look at the numbers in front of the x's first, and then I'm going to look at the numbers in front of the y before I make my decision of what I'm going to do. The x's, I have a 2x and a negative 1x. Now, I need one of them to be positive, one of them to be negative, right?
You can cross out the first one because there's a positive and then a
Times
negative.
both of them by
Okay.
negative 1.
Okay, but wait a minute. So that's if I wanted to eliminate the y's. You're right, Cassius. If I wanted to eliminate the y's, they're both positive. One of them would have to be negative, right?
Negative.
But one of them would have to have the 3 in front of it as well. Wouldn't you agree with me? This would have to say negative 3y for me to add these to get rid of the y's, yes? So I could, that's one way I could do it. I could multiply the top one by negative 3. And then that would give me negative 3y and a positive 3y. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm going to do, well, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do it the other way too. I just want to show you equals 3, and then negative x plus 3y is equal to negative 12. If I wanted to eliminate the x's, notice that with the x's, one of them's already positive, and the other one's already negative, so I don't need to change the signs. All I would need to do is multiply the second equation by what? To make it be negative 2x.
Or positive two?
Yeah, I'd multiply this by positive 2. Brianna, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
That I could multiply the second equation by positive 2, then that would be negative 2x, and then these would cross out, right? So those are both ways. If I wanted to eliminate my y's, I would have to multiply the top equation by negative 3, right? And in order to eliminate my x's, I'd have to multiply the bottom equation by 2, and then that'd be negative 2x. So let's just try it. So we got negative 6x minus 3y equals 3, and then I have, I'll just rewrite this one, negative x plus 3y equals negative 12. Does everybody agree with me now? These will eliminate,
Cross out.
right?
Yeah.
So I can just add these two equations together. That gives me negative 7x, right? Negative 6x's minus one more, negative 7x's is equal to negative 9. Wait a minute. Did I do this wrong? Did I?
Yeah, you might have.
Wait, no.
Oh, what did I do wrong? Ha! Good grief, Gary.
Oh,
Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Okay. All right, here we go. Is equal to negative, what is that now? Negative 21, right? Now it's going to work, right? And so divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7, and x is equal to the negative divided by negative becomes positive, so it just equals 3.
Yeah.
So, Luna, you should be writing this down in your notes, so that you have this. Do you remember this from last year? Not really?
I do. I do.
Yeah, I know this.
You remember this? Okay. So, and if I had done this, I would still get the same thing, only this time I would be I'd be eliminating my x's, right? And so then I'd have my y. But now, if I use this method, I still have to take my answer and find my y. Right? You guys with me? I still have to find my y. I've got to substitute it back into the original equation and find my y. Either equation. You know what I mean? So, I'll just take this one. So 2x plus y equals 3. X equals 3, right? So that's going to now go in there. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus y equals 3, subtract 6, subtract 6. Y is equal to negative 3. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. This to 5, you get it? You understand this? I hope.
4.5 or 4.
All right. So until the bell rings, I'm going to just.
Don't, just don't do that one.
Okay, I'm not doing that side. We're just gonna practice for a second, okay? They'll all work, but they're not gonna all be like the whole numbers. I'm not getting them from the book. I'm just making them up on the spot. What if I gave you this? And how would you solve, what would you do? Una, help me, since you haven't written anything down.
I wrote something down.
Okay. All right. You want the number in front of the x's or the numbers in front of the y's to be the same number except one's positive, one's negative, right? I think it'd be a lot easier to turn this 7 into a 14. Don't you agree? So what would you have to do to the 7 to turn into 14? So therefore, you're going to have to multiply this whole first equation by 2. Yes? Lucas, does that make sense?
Huh? I spaced out. Thinking about something else.
So I just wrote this down, right?
Okay.
These two things. We noticed 2 and 3 can't really do much for that.
Right.
But with this, I could do something,
Just
multiply
like
the
multiply the
7
7 and then just do it.
times 2 to get 14.
Wait, just make
and
it
then they would
positive
cross
14,
out.
so like multiply
Right.
that stuff.
So I'd have to multiply this times everything. And then I could even do it under here if I want. 4x plus 14y equals 8, right?
Okay,
And
there
I
you go.
do this and I add them together, and that gives me 7x equals 16, right?
See, you don't need
And then x is equal to 16 sevenths, right? I'm
Are
just
there gonna be
making,
fractions
I'm
on the
making these up
homework?
out of my head, so they're not going to be even numbers. They're going to be fractions.
Gary, are there going to be fractions on our homework?
No,
Okay, thank God.
no.
I hate fractions.
They're all going to be. They're not going to be fractions. They're all going to be whole numbers. It's in real life that the fractions happen.
If there are
But
any
it's
fractions
on math
that you put,
homework that the fractions don't usually
if you
happen.
put any fractions, I'm going to sue you.
But if you get fractions, you did it wrong. So don't sue me. Sue yourself, okay?
Well, okay.
Wait a minute. Let me just do
Oh.
this. Let me just turn this off for a second so I can say something.